I know you're tired. I know you're hurting. And I wish I could say something that was classy and inspirational.
You can do it!
But that just wouldn't be our style.
Welcome to Project Reclamation, where you rebuild, re-energize, and reclaim your life.
Back again. Holy smokes, man. I love that intro. I love our intro. I know you and J-Bulls created it every single time I hear it, though. It gets me going.
It was mostly JB.
JB is a genius. Did you know he's worked with the likes of Garth Brooks,
Kid Rock.
He's him too.
Just recently, yeah.
Ow! I wonder if he's actually worked with like somebody that I would know, because like those are all country music.
Brad
stars.
Paisley.
Yeah, no, I'm a Chinese guy.
Blake Shelton. Did you ever
Blake
watch The
Griffin?
Voice? He was that one country bumpkin guy on the show The Voice.
I probably don't know it. I'm just not gonna lie to you. I don't know. But it doesn't matter. Every single
It doesn't
time
matter.
It doesn't matter what you say. Every single time if you're listening in the car and you hear that, bah, I know you're tired. It just gets me going. I'm like, how does Keanu Reeves?
Let's break it down. What do we got? We got some Keanu Reeves from the movie The Program.
Rob Schneider.
We got Rob Schneider. You
Waterboy.
can do it.
Yeah.
And then we have the screaming goat.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yep.
I thought that was like honestly like someone like running around with their hair on fire on like YouTube.
No.
going,
It's literally one of those goats that scream. It's interesting because
Genius.
JB and
Why
I
did JB
together.
choose these three things.
Well, that's the story I'm about to tell you.
Oh, okay.
So JB and I together, we were talking about an intro.
Why is it
had
that
an
we wait
idea.
until episode 73 to like then talk about this?
Now I feel like it's built some mystery because now people have heard it 73 plus some bonus episode. Like they've heard it like 80 times.
This is like
They're
national
listeners.
treasure.
So we were like, okay, I wanted like some motivational quotes, you know,
The Project
like
Reclamation
fucking
code.
Protivation. What the fuck is
Protivational
wrong
code.
with me today? Project Reclamational quotes.
Okay.
And so I came up with like 15 of them, right? I'm like,
right.
oh, here's something from Gladiator. Here's some like Jocko Willink quote. Like here's of everything I can. And there was like most of them were serious. Some of them were funny. Of all of them, JB's like, I'm just going to pick Keanu Reeves, Rob Schneider, and the Screaming Goat. And you know what? It's fucking perfect.
You know,
I couldn't love it more.
I honestly, like I said, it gets me going. It gets me pumped. If you're listening to this when you're rocking in the car and you listen to maybe all 73 episodes or even just a third of it, and you're like, man, I get it. You get it. This gets me pumped. And dude, honestly, you could have probably chosen the best quotes from Gladiator or from whatever movie it was. I don't think it would have come out as good as it did with this open intro, dude. Honestly.
Oh, not even a chance, dude. No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
It's amazing.
I love what JB did. It's perfect.
It's genius.
And
leave it up to him, a sound recording engineer.
However,
yeah.
The outro,
Oh.
all me.
Oh, yeah, dude. I don't even make it to then.
Well, fuck you then. It's hilarious. It's like some cool music, and then it's The Rock, but not like a normal rock.
No. It's cartoon
It's like
rock.
The Rock from Moana.
Yeah, Moana rock.
Moana Rock, which is actually Maui.
Maui
Credit to you,
rock.
Disney. Please don't sue us.
We love ABC. We love the mouse.
Love ABC. I
God,
love Marvel. I
ESPN
love
is
Walt
the best.
Disney. Anyways, but it's funny.
That's a free promo. Thanks for letting us use your stuff.
Yeah. Not that we want your sponsorship. I mean, we'd love it, but I know you don't want to sponsor us. But yeah, just don't sue us. We're cool. We're just giving you some press. Anyways, I was just talking to JB the other day. I was like, you know what? You know, our sound quality, our like
Top
the quality of our content. Yeah, but I feel like it's gotten a lot better since episode 1.
Absolutely.
But I was like, the one thing, dude, I was like, since the fucking first inception of this podcast, our intro and our outro have been fucking solid.
Backbone.
Yeah,
Backbone.
solid shit, man.
You lead off with a home run and you end the game with a home run. That means you just hit a home run. I mean, that's solid.
That if you what?
It's a solid. It's your backbone.
That means you hit at least 2 home runs.
At least 2 home runs,
Which
but
I
you
think
sandwich. It's called a home run sandwich. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
We
it's
don't
like
know.
It's like one of those compliment sandwiches. Like, Steve, you're a great guy. We love your hair. Your work has been suffering lately, but goddamn, we love your hair.
Yeah, see, something like that. Damn, I don't know whether to feel insulted or complimented. And at the very, very least, we never promised you great content.
No, I'm pretty sure, if anything, we just promised that we weren't experts.
There perhaps is zero nutritional value to the middle part of the sandwich, but the ends, always. The buns, you're always going to be satisfied with. You know what I mean?
But, you know, we had some... We had some ideas of making things different, and then people were like, no, keep it the way it is.
Yeah. We wanted to revolutionize the world, actually. Our at episode 30, we were going to take a very, very severe turn. But due to our creditors and also our contractual obligations with absolutely no one.
Due to all of our Patreon patrons, which have donated a grand total of $17 at the time. The $17 was that $17 that you and I just dumped out our change buckets.
I was $16 from you, and then $1 in loose change from me.
But yeah, I don't know. Apparently, people like our banter,
dude. I'll take it. People don't like us in real life, but they like us through the filter of actually being able to play and pause us when they want to. That's what my feeling is. Yeah. And we certainly appreciate it.
And the government is just collecting hours and hours of our voices.
Absolutely.
I don't know what they're going to do with that, but I'm sure it'll be something interesting.
They're going to morph it into, with this beautiful, beautiful baritone, deep bass of mine, obviously, they're going to use it as mass weapons warfare.
Ooh. Like one of those like sound bomb things that like
they just
make people like give people like horrible nausea.
Yep, exactly. Diarrhea, all that. You might be listening to this while you're driving home right now, and you might be having diarrhea right now.
If you've ever listened to our podcast and then suddenly
haven't taken
been
a
upset
douche?
to your stomach, then maybe we know the reason now.
We haven't been doing our job then.
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh man. Anyways, what other better way to start off a sweet podcast than to talk about how our caca poo poo pee pee words are just spewing out. That's right.
Fuck shit goddamn.
Well,
I felt like I hadn't cussed enough, so I thought I'd throw it in there.
Absolutely. This is going to...
It's funny, dude, because, you know, I've been making those like 1 minute clips for Instagram, right?
Yeah, I love them.
Right. But like when I pull a minute, it's like, oh, this is like an interesting topic or whatever. It's like you never realize all of the cursing until you have to bleep it. The more interesting or possibly less interesting thing is
the guy
I don't even know that I need to bleep it for Instagram.
No, probably not. No. I've heard people say all sorts of stuff on Instagram.
Well, fuck, I don't know. I do
know,
anyways.
I don't know. I'm not an
but
IG
I honestly
legend
I think
yet.
some of the bleeping is kind of funny, like especially when it's like me going on a rant and I'm like fucking shit, goddamn, blah 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 blah, and all you hear is blah, 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 beep, 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 beep. I think it's kind of funny. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Hey, email us, projectxreclamation@gmail.com.
I thought we got rid of the X. I thought we got a project.
No. So we could. I don't fucking know.
Wow. Another thing to bleep out.
No, I got us a new domain.
Yep.
Our website's down right now. It's in the rebuilding process, but we did get a new domain. So instead of the
under
X
new
or
management,
the dot or the underscore, or some fucking bullshit, it's literally going to be just projectreclamationpodcast.com.
Damn. Beep, beep,
super
beep.
simple. I don't know why I didn't think earlier to just add podcast at the end, because that would have made everything so much simpler. But hey,
this like the AAF.
I don't do things the easy way, apparently.
This like a startup football league. We just had an idea and we went with it, and we were gonna ride it till it died. You know what I mean?
But we have lasted longer than
we
AAF.
have definitely lasted longer.
Love you, AAF. I wish it lasted longer, but
Missy Fleet.
yeah.
I can't remember a single player on there, but other than my boy Mike Bercovici.
Is he the quarterback guy?
Oh yeah, he was the guy that we took photos with.
Italian.
Yeah.
Mikey Pepperoni.
Hey, forget about
it.
Hey.
So yeah, dude.
Carpaccio.
But hey, here we are.
Dude, episode 700
going strong. By the way,
yeah.
There's
Joe Rogan, we're still gunning for you. Don't worry. We're only a few behind.
Dude.
Go on.
I don't know.
No. Okay.
I was gonna talk about something I'm probably
Nah, don't talk about it yet. Save it for the next. Save it. You gotta hang in there. But you know what I got to talk about, man?
What does Steve have to talk about?
Bro, we are in San Diego, California, as the faithful listeners of Project Reclamation know about that already. But I was riding my bicycle today, and guess what I saw?
I want to ride my bicycle. Want to ride my bike. Sorry, Queen song. Look it up.
Oh, is that what it? Oh, I didn't know
it's a Queen song.
Right.
Apparently, it's about.
Once again, I don't know music in general.
I don't really know much Music?
Well, you knew more than I did. You said Queen song.
I know the Queen song because it's ridiculous. It's about riding your bicycle.
Bro, I'm trying to get on my
it's
story.
probably about something else. Okay, tell your
You know
story.
what I saw,
Sorry.
though, when I was riding my bicycle, though? I saw Spider-Man standing next to Harley Quinn at a bus stop. Why did I see those two MFers? Was it like a Hollywood Boulevard and were they trying to ask for change? Nope.
What's it, Times Square?
No. Was that at Times Square and were they asking for change again to take photos with them?
Was
Nope.
it Halloween?
No. It is. We are. If you're listening to this podcast,
Was
we are
it
in the deads of July.
Comic-Con?
Bingo!
Oh.
Beep, beep, beep. World famous.
Ooh, was
Internationally
Harley Quinn
renowned. She was a Chinese girl. She was a Chinese girl. She was a Chinese girl or an Asian girl of some sort, and her cape, she had just had a cape. But it had a bunch
and they
of
were
like...
just blending Marvel and DC. Isn't that like sacrilegious?
Bro, I don't
know about
care.
all that.
I don't know. But Comic-Con, to my understanding, is a great time for people who of all ilks and breadths and depths of whatever personality you have to come out and be whoever the hell you want to be. Because you can literally dress up as a big old rock or a monster or Thor or a Rocky monster Thorish kind of combination.
For sure,
person.
dude.
Like, it does not matter. It does not matter. There's a bunch of Japanese tourists that want to take photos with you, and probably of you and your, I don't even know if you're Sailor Moon. I saw so many Sailor Moons, I can't even tell you.
I saw a few.
Yeah, Sailor Moons are those Japanese girl characters that look like, I don't even know. Once again, I'm not into music, and I'm definitely not into comic books. But I will tell you that I do like how San Diego just looks different right now.
It totally does. It's all transformed.
It looks like different.
Downtown's all crazy. There's like a fucking Ferris wheel and just giant blow up things and giant building wraps on all the stuff.
I appreciate it.
There's a giant, like, dude, there's like a, I don't even know how big it is. The giant, like on the Marriott downtown, you know, that big one with the two curved buildings.
Yeah.
They have a giant like wrap on that thing that's
Damn.
probably 40 or 50 feet tall and like much wider than that.
Damn.
For some show called Snowpiercer.
Okay. Is it a comic book show?
No fucking clue.
Okay. Well,
Apparently
it's gonna be-
Snowpiercer was a movie and now they're making it into a show.
The only times that I've ever
I know
seen-
nothing about either.
Okay.
I just saw the giant thing and someone explained it to me.
The only times I've ever seen like building wraps that big, or when you're heading down on the 405 South, like you're coming back from Santa Barbara.
That's like normal though.
Yeah, but no, and you pass like the Howard Hughes Parkway or Howard Hughes LA, and you get a little bit farther past the LA airport, and you're basically in El Segundo, and you see these big wrapped buildings with like something, Blade Hunter on the CW.
Yeah.
Wednesdays, 8:00.
Watch it, motherfucker.
And you're just like, oh, is that what happened to Eliza
billboards.
Dushku? I had no fucking clue.
She actually still looks pretty good, I think.
Well, I guess. I mean, she's an actress. She better.
We don't have. Are there billboards in San Diego?
No, there are not any billboards that I know of. There's
so
not even
weird.
any Padre like billboards, and when the Chargers were here, there certainly
so
were no
weird.
Padres even anything's around.
Because I know in Santa Barbara, like they have a law against billboards, so that's why
Okay.
you won't see any in Santa Barbara County.
No, I don't even think you see them out here. Because
But I don't think you
there's
see 'em here.
billboards. No, there's billboards.
Yeah, but
as I head out towards my house, like towards if you're in
Oh,
the 8 East, they have like some for the Pachanga. And
Oh,
like
you're right. They have all the
Sycuan.
they have all the
Your
fucking
luck
Indian
begins
casino.
tonight.
You're right. The loosest slots.
Loosest.
Is loosest slots like a play on like loosest sluts, or am I just being perverted?
I think you might be perverted because I don't necessarily know because I
is
think
a
loose
slot like one that like hits jackpots more often?
Yeah, or it's not as one with like the tight controls on it. Like it's not instead of one every 400
I just always
spins or
thought that
something
one
like
was
that.
a weird one.
Yeah.
Never understood it.
Bro, I don't know.
I don't
I'm
gamble
not a
because I'm
gambler.
bad at it.
I'm not a gambler because I don't want to invite that into my life. You know what I mean? But I will tell you that
No, if I'm somewhere that has gambling, such as Las Vegas,
you'll throw a quarter down.
I'll throw a quarter down. Or if we're like drinking
Yeah.
and there's not a whole lot going on, I will sit at the bar
Yeah.
at a table at a seat that has like video poker,
Okay.
and I'll drop in like $20, and I'll play enough video poker to get free drinks
Gotcha.
to make up so that I end up drinking at least as much as I lost, possibly more. Who knows?
Gotcha.
That's my master plan.
One time I was
I'm
at
like,
some.
yeah, I'm playing some video poker. Fucking hook me up with your good shit. I'm spending big bucks playing the fucking video poker. I don't know, dude.
Bingo. You may hate me, but one time I was in Virginia and I was at some like gaming casino, and then we were just sitting down having a good time playing like, I don't know, video roulette or whatever, you know? I don't know. There's no one there. It was like a Tuesday. There was nobody
Sure.
there. And it was just like, all right, cool. Like there was probably like all the old fogies like still there, and we're just like, it was
Playing
like 2
Keno
o'clock. Yeah, probably just sitting around.
Bingo.
It was 2 a.m. at night, and I was like, all right. And then I was like, hey, can we get some drinks? And like, oh, are you playing? And I was like, I looked around, and I was like, I'm sitting on this machine. There's nobody else here. I understand that you're a 40-something-year-old woman like who is doing this as a side hustle, or maybe it's your primary hustle. Give me my drink. Like I was like, holy crap, dude. I understand you might have some tight regulations on your Coronas or something like that, but yeah.
That's why you gotta play the game, man.
Dude, honestly, I was just like,
You
I
gotta
was
play
kind
the
of like,
game.
all right,
So you
I'm
get some
back
free
in.
shit.
I wanted to give her like one of those dollar coins or something like that and say, hey, can I get some money back on that?
Here's
dude?
your chip.
I know, here's your chip.
Keep the change.
Toss it on the floor.
Keep the chip change.
Oh my God. It was just an old, salty, just dried up, old casino woman just being like, oh, but you know what? I get it. She had a problem. She made a lot of mistakes in her life. And she's not even listening to Project Reclamation.
She maybe should be. I don't know. I don't know,
but regardless, man, I'm telling you. Well, how do we get on the subject of talking about billboards? Pachanka, loses slots?
Billboards.
Damn.
Advertisements.
But regardless,
advertisements.
I will tell you.
Harley Quinn and Spider-Man.
Dude, San Diego looks a little different now than it normally does. And it's kind of cool, man, because it's just so many like different faces of like where you live. Like, like beauty's all around you, blah, 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 blah. I love weeks like this because you can actually see something.
For sure.
You see you see your own same old regular stuff, but in a different light, and it's kind of cool.
Absolutely.
Maybe that's what we could honestly.
Well, I like what
today.
you're saying about like, I feel like it's Comic-Con's interesting because there's a lot of beautiful people dressed up in beautiful costumes.
Okay.
Or not. But then you got a lot, like anyone can let their freak flag fly on Comic-Con, which I think is cool.
What's the weirdest thing you've seen today right now, or today? You went to Comic-Con. That's
I did.
We gotta clue
Sorry,
you in.
I went. So this is day 2 of Comic-Con. Comic-Con is 4 days long.
Okay.
5 if you count preview night. But
So what do people do? What do they? Can I ask you something? Have you ever stayed downtown like at nighttime? Do people just still walk around and stuff like that?
Oh, dude, it's insane because a lot of the bars have like Comic-Con specials or some shit.
Oh, geez.
And then there's a ton of invitation only like parties and stuff for different shows.
Because this is San Diego's week.
So like if you belong to the freaking something, what we were saying, like Beast Hunter or some show you made up with Eliza Dushku. Let's say you belong to like their fan page or whatever. So they might announce like, hey, coming to Comic-Con, whatever,
at Skippy's bar.
And we're gonna be doing like something like invite only night on Friday night. We're at Skippy's bar. Yeah. So then you could be like, oh, I want to go and like whatever. So you sign up or you enter your name into some fucking lottery, depending on I guess how popular your show.
Sure.
So then you can go to some like private after party.
Sure.
So they have a lot of those. They also have like the Comic-Con programming goes until like 2 a.m. It's crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but like I think from like 10-ish on, it's just a lot of like movie screenings.
Oh, okay.
So like you could go watch like
so you can go watch a movie
that maybe is like not in the theaters anymore.
Not like Spider-Man 4 or something like that or whatever.
The one that just came out.
Or no, it's just like any big, there's no big new releases that are actually just play.
Not a new release. Like it would be something that's maybe out of the theaters or has been in the theaters for a while, but it's not available on Netflix or DVD yet.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I just think for people that are listening to this program like myself, and I volunteered at Comic-Con one day, and my takeaway from it was this. Very, very nice people, very, very lovely people. But if you were perhaps overlooked or glossed over when you were in high school because of like you're interested in just alternate kind of things, or you wanted to live in an alternative kind of like world or universe, which is totally great. This is like your 1 week, your 4 days to like just be whoever you want to be, and like the meek shall inherit the earth. If you weren't, supreme Jocko sports guy, or athletic, booty tone lady in high school, and you always had a chip on your shoulder because you were just so different and alternative. This is your week.
Yeah, embrace the fuck out of it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, cool. And then like I remember just seeing like, and if you were, Jock Magoo and you were like heading on in there, bro, I'm telling you, you got a taste of what it might feel like to be like the alternative one, the one on the out. Like it was just almost like a reverse world almost. It was like a parallel world. And I'm not saying I was either or. I think I was handing out like little gift bags or the gift bag things, and I would see that like if you were muscle bound macho man, kind of deal, you better be painted green, have purple shorts on, and have black hair because you better be dressed up as though you were the Hulk, or else like people would just like look at you and be like, oh, this is our time to get him back, to get them back. And it was cool. It's a cool alternative world. I will say that.
Yeah, it's very cool. And they have a bunch of like cool stuff. They have like every year there's like the Walking Dead panel and the Game of Thrones panel. And,
yeah,
like,
I
these
do
giant
remember
panels of these giant shows that you got to go wait in line like all fucking night to go whatever. And I've done that in the past and it's cool. This year they have a lot of different like workshops and stuff, which are kind of cool. So I've been kind of exploring that. Like yesterday there was like a business of podcasting workshop.
Ooh.
Today there was an interesting one. It was like
Nailed
the science of something.
Okay.
So they had like the science, what do you call them? Consultant. They had the science consultant from Breaking Bad, the science consultant from Game of Thrones, and the science consultant from Marvel.
Ooh, nice.
Very cool. Yeah.
Like spider webs wouldn't do that normally or naturally, that kind of deal, or like.
So it just depends on the
hard
show.
to freeze over that much
like
water.
For Breaking Bad, apparently, like, Vince Gilligan, the creator of Breaking Bad, like he very much wanted the show to be very realistic in a lot of the science ways. Game of Thrones and Marvel are both like fictional universes, right? So they were saying more like, it's kind of like everything doesn't have to be exactly like realistic.
Sure.
But you have to come up with kind of a set of rules kind of at the beginning and try to stick to that. So it doesn't like, you don't get a lot of variation. Like,
so all of a sudden Spider-Man's not freezing over water with his
sure,
webs.
exactly. Yes. Yeah, so that way, like maybe the physics aren't the same physics, but you have a rule of physics that makes sense.
Sure.
Anyways, but it was interesting because they were asking like, "Whoa, what's one thing that really pissed you off, or not? Maybe not pissed you off, but it was like kind of like you had to sort of cringe at like scientifically." And
what was one example?
So the Game of Thrones lady, she was like, "Oh, the way that they've made the fucking swords." Because if you watch Game of Thrones, Ned Stark or what was his name's Bean. The guy who played Ned Stark.
Sure.
His character. He had this giant sword made out of Valerian steel, which is like, I want to say it's probably like Damascus steel, whatever. It's
good old
like
Damascus
magical
steel. I want to give a shout out to our new sponsor, Damascus Steel.
Yeah. Thanks, Syria. So he has this giant sword made out of this fucking magical steel. He gets his fucking head chopped off. Sorry, spoiler alert. That happens in season 1, whatever.
With his own sword?
No. So then they
sword went rogue on him.
This steel supposedly is limited, so whatever. So they melt the steel down and they make 2 swords out of it because it was this giant sword that was totally unnecessary. So that being said, the way it's like this really cool scene where they melt the steel into like molten steel and then they pour it into 2 molds and make 2 swords out of it. She was like, yeah, you can't melt steel like that. It doesn't work. And she's like, and if you did, you totally fuck up like the integrity of the steel and you come up with this shitty ass blade. So yeah, that one really pissed me off. And that's why you see like people doing like forging swords. Like they melt the steel. Like if someone's making a sword or a knife, like they melt the steel to where it's like malleable, but it's not molten. Like it's still,
and then
like,
they hammer
the shit out
of
it.
Yeah, I remember seeing
so
like
that's
a
like a
reality
normal
show
way.
like
That's how it really works. But the whole
Gotcha.
melting it into like molten shit. Like she's like, yeah, that's no fucking way.
Well, she don't know Damascus Steel like I know Damascus Steel.
So
That's
that was
how you
one.
do it.
The other one I thought was interesting was if anyone's watched have you ever watched Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
Okay, so they have like the blue meth.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So they're like, well, what was yours? And she's like, the blue meth. She's like, yeah. And she was talking about Vince Gilligan. She's like, yeah, Vince came up to me and Vince was great. Like he wanted most things to be pretty like dead on scientifically, but they also had to kind of take some liberties so it wasn't a fucking how to make meth kind of a thing. So he's like, well, what if the meth was blue? And she goes, well, then it wouldn't be meth because meth is white. He's like, well, wait, what if it was really pure meth? She goes, then it would be really white. He's like, well, what if it was really, 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 really pure meth? She's like, then it would be really, 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 really white. And then she's like, and clearly because it was blue, and you all know that, he didn't listen to me, so it is what it is.
Dude, I mean,
those were the 2 that I thought were kind of
for
funny.
TV purposes. I mean, like everyone's seen white. Well, I don't know. I've never seen actually meth in general, but everyone imagines like cocaine is white, drugs are white, Tylenol is white. You know, like so to create some kind of fictitious color is actually part of like a cinematographic kind of liberty where you're really interested in it. Like, a yellow umbrella and a sea of black umbrellas.
For sure. Well, and the blue meth is, it's iconic to that show.
Dude, is it ever?
But it was really interesting though. Them talking about just kind of working on the sets of these shows and being like legit. Like she was a legit chemist. Like the other two were like legit physicists.
You know what's so cool about that is that you're a chemist and you're like, nerd, I'm a nerd. But I'm a cool chemist. I think I can really do something with this. What else are you going to do? And some of your guys are like, I'm going to go work in a lab. I'm going to go work at a fucking Dow. What are you going to do? I'm going to work in Hollywood
for
be a
consultant
fucking
for one of the biggest shows ever made.
Of all time ever.
Fantastic. I love it, dude.
Damn, how did you get that job? I don't know. I just believed in myself, and I want to be so like ulterior alternative with like my.
I didn't know that kind of thing existed,
dude. Of course not.
So it's just kind of like a cool exercise in like thinking outside the box,
dude. It's like those who get those jobs are obviously those ones that like thought outside the box.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like I would have never imagined in my wildest dreams back in like 2008 when I was like still in television that like. Oh, when someone like started an Instagram or a Twitter handle, I'd be like, why would anyone want to hear from you? You know what I mean?
I used to think Instagram was stupid.
Yeah, but then now it's like that's like the direct way that you hear specifically from these athletes or these promotional people from like the horse's mouth. I mean, they probably do filter it through their agent or their like publicist, but it's still how you.
And Instagram is the only way that we market our podcast.
I know that's true. And we love you, Instagram. Free shout out.
IG, what up? Yeah,
man, I just love it because like sometimes, and I will say this is that part of my understanding about and what we even talk about today is that sometimes you gotta look at things differently, right? You have the same old, the everyday routine. Right, like we live in the city of San Diego, and it's beautiful every single week, every single day, every single week. Yeah. I would say, but sometimes a week comes in like this, okay, and then it forces you because it has to. You're addressed by it. There's fucking Spider-Man on the bus. You know what I mean? It forces you to look. I mean, even like that red little trolley that goes across.
Oh, it's not red anymore.
No, it's got Conan O'Brien advertisements on it. It's got wrapped on it. It's like got little
Kobe Smolder's new show, whatever the fuck that is.
It's got little SpongeBob heads on it or something like that. You know, it's like actually really, really cool, and it forces you. You know, even if you just like look up and you don't look down on the floor, just rocking your same old beaten path. If you just look up for just a second, you know, just even at a different eye level, you see something different about how it goes, and it forces you to look at like you're sitting in a different way all over again, and see how you can see it, or it looks at your situation in a different way all over again, and almost it allows you to kind of reframe things for just a moment,
absolutely,
and even like appreciate it, or say, hey, I haven't even done this yet. I should really, really try going downtown. I've been to a few years here, and I've never even been down to Comic-Con. Maybe I should try it this year.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'd lived in San Diego for years.
Yeah,
and I had never gone. And then
you've been here for how long? 13 years now. 14 years?
19.
Shut up! You've been here longer than you probably were in Santa Barbara.
Officially this year, I think I crossed the threshold. Yeah,
no longer a local, more like a San Diego native.
So yeah, I'd been here for quite a while, and then you know, my sister worked at the convention center.
Oh, that's right.
So that year, she got like Brett and I. She got us like one day like guest passes or whatever. So we went one day, and I was like, "This is," because I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna go to Comic-Con. Like, I'm not gonna dress up. I'm not a nerd. Yeah, fucking nerds."
I played football in high school.
But then I was like, dude, this is fucking cool. Like, there's so much cool shit here.
Yeah.
And that was before, like, the Marvel fucking take over the world.
That's true.
That was before The Walking Dead and Game of Thrones. You know, that was, like, back, like, Harry Potter. Like, it wasn't as mainstream, but I still saw the coolness. You know, I saw how fucking awesome it was. I was like, this is cool. Like, I gotta come back. And, like, you know... And we've, like I said, we've done a lot of the big things. Like this year, I'm actually looking at a lot of different things. Like I went to that cool science thing. I went to like the business of podcasting. Okay, that's you know, actually Shannon went for me, but she took notes. So I feel like I was there. But you know, then there was another podcasting.
You sent your proxy.
Sent my proxy. There was another podcasting session today, and there's another one tomorrow, and it was just like people like talking about podcasts who have like, you know, popular podcasts. And like yesterday, there was even a gal from she works for a company where they match sponsors with podcasts. So I thought that was super cool. So I mean, they have so much cool stuff. And if you're like a writer of pretty much any kind, or like an artist, or you have like a portfolio, like they have portfolio reviews. You can go get your portfolio reviewed by some of like the big studios and shit.
It sounds like as you grow, and I'm sure you've seen the Comic-Con kind of grow in what it's interested in and how it holds its like, you know, because it's
yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's so international now at this point that I think it just realizes that it has such a diverse audience now. You can be Mr. Athlete Bro, you know,
for sure,
from Laguna Hills, or you know, or like, an LGBTQ person from Iowa,
Absolutely.
and you're just breaking out right now.
And you both walk into Comic-Con on an even plane.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is so cool.
Because to be honest with you, that's like the one thing I really if I could tell you the pulse of that place 2 years ago, it was that so long as you paid your fucking $400 entrance fee or whatever shit it is.
It's not even that much. It's like it's roughly like $50 a day.
Okay.
Which
so
isn't
your
bad.
$200 entrance fee?
Yeah, it's like if you get all the days, it's like a little over $200. Which I got to be honest, for like as much entertainment as you get there, like it's pretty good, man.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, how much money do you spend going to Disneyland for a fucking day?
$120. Yeah.
Exactly.
Dude,
So
yeah.
better than that.
But no, as one thing I could say is that if I felt the pulse of that place, man, people just did not fucking care. The only thing that they cared about was if you dressed up and you put effort and time into a costume, people were so fascinated by it.
Oh yeah.
What is that? Oh man, how'd you do? What kind of materials did you use to create this? Not even Stormtrooper. Everyone's done that 10,000 times. What kind of materials did you create to create that fucking Punisher costume or whatever? Or fucking whatever, dude.
Yeah.
People were super excited.
Yeah, and then there's people who create their own, which is super cool. And then then the studios, a lot of times if they have like a big thing coming out, they'll hire like professional fucking model people or whatever to rock their fucking like cosplay.
Dude.
And then they have all these
What is cosplay? Cosplay is
cosplay is just dressing up in a costume.
Oh, costume play.
Yeah, costume play.
I thought it was like cosmic or something like that.
No,
Or comics play.
I think it's just costume.
That's so funny. Okay.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, so I mean, it's
so
super
out of
cool. Like,
date.
I've never fucking dressed up, we have our friend Tori, our Canadian friend. She dresses up sometimes.
Did she come here last year?
She's been here every year.
Wow, shit. I think it's just such cool. I think it's just like I said, for me being here for as long as I have, and for you being here for infinitely longer. One of the greatest things that you can do, and one of the greatest things that can happen to you is just kind of seeing your world in a different perspective, in a different light.
For sure.
Because it can expose you to some like different things that you might have missed. Maybe it puts a shadow on things. You're like, oh shit, I never realized that was what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so cool. It is
So cool.
So
Well, there's so many different things and it's cool. Like, Tori, shout out to you. Love Tori. Shannon met her at Comic-Con one year. She was like 18 years old or 19 years old.
Yeah.
And then like, she's literally coming. She lives in Canada. So she's literally coming.
Is she coming down now?
She's here.
Oh.
She's living in my guest room. I mean, she's not here right now.
Oh.
No, but she came on Tuesday.
Damn. And
Yeah.
every year you see, that's what I'm saying. How cool is that?
She's stayed with us every year. Yeah.
How cool is that?
That's awesome.
God.
But she's super cool because she's the one who she kind of taught me how to use social media. I'll be honest.
Oh, nice, dude.
She was the one who's like, well, your podcast is basically like a kind of a self-care kind of a category. You need to use like Instagram as your fucking jam.
Damn.
I'm like, all right, cool. Because I can't focus on multiple ones. So Instagram is where I focus. Sometimes I click the little thing so it posts to multiple, but sometimes I'll take the couple minutes it takes to post to Facebook. What I don't understand is to upload the same video to Facebook, it takes like 10 times longer than to upload a video to Instagram. Doesn't Facebook own Instagram?
Yeah.
So isn't it the same fucking servers? So what the fuck is up with that?
I don't know. I'm not tech savvy.
Me neither. Don't know it. Don't get it. Don't care. But but Tori's great, and she does a lot of like social media profiles and like live tweeting and stuff for like different celebrities on like CW shows and stuff. So I'm like, I love when she comes visits. I'm like super like, so what's going on, Tori? Like, what's up with Comic-Con? Because I feel like when it comes
She's
to
in the know.
Comic-Con, like she's in the know, and I'm just fucking Joe Schmo. I'm like, so to Tori, where are you going today? What panels are you going to? Like,
She's
what
going to
are
the bar.
shows?
She's
Yeah.
going to the bar. She's going to the bar at Skippy's. She's going to Skippy's bar.
Oh, she's
today.
totally invited to Skippy's bar, and I'm not. And that's cool. Like, it's all good. Like, whatever.
One of the things I will say is that sometimes, and I will say this, is that how I'm going to apply this to kind of our Project Reclamation base and our always like our constant mission and our constant values is like this, is that I will tell you, I was recently thinking about this when I was at work recently, and maybe you think about this too. I've been a nurse for such a long time, and honestly, I've seen the world from like so many different vantage points, and I think I was burnt out for a long time, and then I was like, okay, shoots. You look at stuff and you're like, all right, and then I remembered I was kind of just so short with people sometimes, and I remembered thinking like driving home one day, I was like, I gotta just be different. This isn't the way I wanted my career to go. This isn't what I wanted to do as a person. This wasn't what I thought like were going to be my real world values. So I honestly was like trying to say like, okay. And I remembered I took some time off. Like I'm really, really talking about like a lot of time off, probably about 2 weeks for me. That's a lot for me. And I remembered I went to a wedding and I was like, okay. And I just like sat and I was like looking out in the water and I was like, what am I going to do? How am I going to change this around? Because honestly, like I was listening to Jocko Willink, and I know that's someone that we like kind of listen to. It's like sometimes, he has that whole kind of famous principle. What is it? Discipline equals freedom. But he also has another kind of thinking when I heard that sometimes when you're thinking about something, if I'm getting this right, God, I know I'm going to butcher it. But it's just like, if something doesn't work out, it's not because it may not have worked out because of the same reasons that you were thinking. It just may not have worked out because it wasn't how you were thinking about it. Meaning, like, if you went through a breakup, you're thinking that person, you attributed so many things to that person, but maybe that person wasn't what you attributed it to. Short of the long, though. I know I'm getting all drifted away, but it was pretty much like I had to make a difference. And so, honestly, I started acting. I know it sounds kind of weird, but I started acting so fake with like people, like, oh, hey, how's it going? How are you? Like being over the top, like nice and gregarious and having, super amounts of candor. And I was like, oh my gosh. And lo and behold, I started.
Your voice got really high?
Yeah, obviously. No, but you start acting out the way you either want to be, like that Gandhi quote, be the change in the world that you want to see, or you just start like viewing it from a different perspective because people started responding to me differently. Whether or not they knew I was just bullshitting them or whatever it was, they were like, or just for in that moment, they started responding to me differently. And I appreciated the fact that like I got the responses back that I was also giving out to.
Like,
not 100% of the time.
If you were going to do it for like 5 minutes at a time, I can understand you being not genuine and people seeing through it. But at some point, I mean, if you make a conscious effort to do that throughout like even one whole day, at some point, doesn't it just start becoming like you almost start believing your own bullshit?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, It could have been. I will tell you that, like, am I the greatest person of all time? No. I will tell you that I am probably on the lowest list, and I have sins that are darker than most people's. You know what I mean?
I don't know about
but everyone's got sins. Everyone's sins.
You're not murdering people.
Not yet. But anyways, no, but getting that portion of is like, you know what, even if I was acting that way, even if I was honestly acting that way, I was like, I was getting back the responses that I really, really wanted to hear. And so it was like, I don't know, it made me like kind of look at my profession and what I was doing in a different light for just that moment. And I appreciate it and it allowed me to make a positive change for right now. Maybe tomorrow I go back and everything changes back and it's a chaotic mess. Or maybe not. But right now, sometimes you just kind of have to look at your world in a different view.
But like they say like the first step to like being happy, if you're not happy or whatever, is just like smile.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, at some point, if you're putting on this like, because it's not like you're being completely fake. You're just being like a happier, different version of yourself.
True.
So like at some point, does that not just kind of make you like happy? Maybe you force yourself at first.
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, like, I don't know either, but like I mean I have heard the justice of like, hey, if you're feeling really sad and depressed and you don't live in fucking Seattle or something like that, like go outside, like take yourself outside and walk
vitamin
around.
D.
Yeah, and it has worked to my credit. The one time I kind of did it, and I was like, okay, it really, really kind of worked,
All right.
And so it did. Honestly, have you ever had a moment where you had to change your perspective and it really, really changed you for the better? Because I would even say that with your health, I would say that like. I mean, I think you've tried X, Y, and Z, and like, but when you actually went and maybe got that procedure, like, oh my God, your world
was more like dedication.
Okay.
I just decided I was going to do this. So now you're going into it. You're going down an interesting rabbit hole into a topic I want to cover on a different episode.
Okay.
But,
we saved that for episode 74. Listen, be on the lookout.
So there's like a lot of different philosophies that have to do with magic, right?
Okay.
And I think magic's an interesting term. But a lot of them, like chaos magic, there's like alien school magic, whatever, fuck it all. Doesn't matter. I'm only going to touch on this very briefly because I do want to do this like a whole episode of
bunch of different magic.
Yeah, there's like the Orlando magic.
Yeah.
There's there's Magic the Gathering.
Yep.
But what it all kind of boils down to, a lot of it is like state your intentions to the world or to yourself,
okay,
or to the universe or to the like fucking Cthulhu or some shit, and then write those down. And then every morning you wake up, you're like, here's my intentions. And your intentions are basically your goals. Like, I want to be a happier Steve. I want to be a more financially independent Steve. And then you basically you basically make, and this, I'm simplifying the fuck out of this, basically making every decision that day from the moment you wake up as you're kind of you were talking about acting. So like, let's say you want to be a happier Steve. So every decision, you'd wake up, you'd read your intentions, you'd do some sort of weird mantra. I'm sure there'd be some weird ritual thing you would do. And that's kind of where the magic kicks in. But
nice.
All that aside, you have your goals stated. You read them in the morning, and then all day long you make decisions. And it's almost like acting, because you make the decision not as necessarily your first impulse of how to make that decision, but you make the decision as how a happier Steve would make that decision. So really, when you break it all down, it's almost kind of like the book The Secret. It's like basically state your intentions, put your goals out to the world,
put it out there in the world for the world to answer,
and then make your decisions as the version of yourself that is already at that goal.
I love it.
So to me, like, I'm like, well, if you were just telling me like, oh, well, I practice magic, I'd be like, you're fucking crazy. But then when I really looked into it, I was like, well, if you really get the brass tacks out of this, like, it makes sense. It kind of reminds me of this. There's a Ben Affleck quote from the movie Boiler Room, where he has this whole speech called "Act as If," and he's like, and it's all these guys who are learning how to be stock traders, and and it's very, you know, mansplaining. It's very alpha male. He's like, well, act as if you're the CEO of the company. Act as if you have $1 million in bank account. Act as if you have a 9-inch dick. Like, act as if. But the root of it makes a lot of sense. Like, if you wake up and you act as if you're happy, then eventually you're going to be happy. If you act as if you're confident, then you're going to be more confident.
Yeah.
If you act as if you're the version of yourself that has already reached said goal that you want to reach, you're going to probably get closer to that goal. So it's more like, I'm like, well, this is very interesting. Like, it's literally like the book The Secret. Like, besides all the fucking vision boards and, you know, all that other bullshit.
It's such a unique concept, because I remember reading, my boss gave me The Secret, like the book, one time, and I was reading it and I was like, what the hell is this? I don't get it. Like, I get it. It wasn't written like a traditional book. And I was like, I get it. That fact that I just got to put it out there and then like hope for it to come back. But I think it triggers you to say, hey, and I'm not a big believer of The Secret. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like telling you go ahead and buy that book or just go ahead and peel it down. I'm sure somebody.
I think we just explained it.
Yeah, pretty much. But the secret is like, honestly, if you want something, I guess you just have to put it out there, and then what's the whole like Eminem thing, like fake it till you make it.
That's the first step, and then I think the second step, and this goes for the thought behind The Secret, but also a lot of this like quote unquote magic stuff. And if you want to Google some of this magic stuff, a lot of it's spelled with a CK, MAGICK. There's like left hand path, right hand path. There's fucking Aleister Crowley, but then you're really like you're sealing all your intentions and stuff with sigils and weird sex magic. So like, forget all that shit. Doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, it's about putting your intentions out there. And allegedly that's what, oh no, universe is going to give it back to you. But then the other part of it is then acting as if. It's then, you know, putting effort into your goals. So even if the universe isn't giving you anything back, just by basically putting your intentions and your goals out there to yourself and basically doing your little quote unquote rituals every morning or every day,
that's right.
You're reminding yourself, okay, today I'm going to be happier. Today I'm working towards being debt free. So like then every decision I make, I'm supposed to be, you know, positively moving towards that. So, I mean, to me, it just honestly sounds like a good recipe for success with a bunch of fucking razzle dazzle all wrapped around it to make it look pretty.
Yeah. And when I hear you say that, one of the things that comes to my mind is that it gives you a heading. It gives you your North Star. It gives you something to like kind of direct it. Because I really, really do feel like, and this is just a first world problem. Please forgive me. I understand that we have a bunch of privilege here, and Tim and I are coming to you from a very, very privileged standpoint, right? To at least have the opportunity to do this podcast.
Like an app I can get to keep my privilege.
The privilege app. You already have it. You're white. Okay. Yeah. You just have it. I'm
like all the wrong kinds of white. I'm not like a white Anglo-Saxon. I'm not a wasp.
You're all like the bottom feeder white things like that. Just people have the hardest time with, and you're like, oh. But dude, you're making do, baby. Look at you.
My white comes from the greasy ones and the ones who start wars. Fucking bratwurst and pizza.
Bratwurst and pizza. Damn, that's the name of a good restaurant. Mental note: bratwurst and pizza, not to be used outside of Project Reclamation.
Right.
No, but. Here's what it is, though, too. It just gives you like kind of a North Star. I mean, it really, really does kind of give you a heading, because I really do feel as though people, especially in first world situations, I mean, we have so many great things to kind of choose from, pick from, decide on, work with, and kind of be involved with. And it's probably a little bit of too much information overload at times. And you know what? Sometimes you can get lost in all like the minutia of just daily life. But if you have something like, hey, I really, really promise myself, and maybe you write it down every day, right? Maybe it is buy a nice car, or maybe it is to get a job, or maybe it is to just have a successful family, or make sure that you're home for family dinner 5 nights a week, all 7 nights. You know, you just remind yourself of it. I got to do this. I want to do this. I'm going to make this a habit. And all of a sudden, like those kind of same things that you get to those mini North Stars or those like situational North Stars all of a sudden become routine habit now.
Well, and I think it's so easy to get lost in the bullshit.
That's right.
Especially in our, in our jobs, in our places. And,
Yeah.
and we have the 24-hour news cycle, all the shit getting thrown at you, social media. There's so much stuff that's almost like designed to distract you.
Yep.
I feel like it just whether you're fucking putting out to the universe or just putting out to yourself, it gives you some perspective.
Yeah.
And that helps you kind of sort out the bullshit and filter everything into like, okay, it doesn't matter what's going on with Trump or Epstein, all that bullshit. Like today I'm trying to be this version of Tim or a better version of Tim, or I'm trying to get one step closer to financial freedom or happiness or whatever the fuck it is, doesn't matter. But the other thing too, that kind of plays into this, and I think this also goes to the perspective thing, is people I feel like having privilege and having, first world issues means we don't have a lot of issues. We don't have a lot of struggles. Like I don't have to fucking fight through every day to have the staples of life,
That's right.
Shelter and food and keep my family alive. So I feel like as human beings, I think that we still have some sort of genetic code in us to have some sort of a struggle. So I feel like we just make struggles. So that could come in the form of like, oh, like they didn't have my fucking latte at Starbucks. They were out of almond milk. Someone cut me off. My boss yelled at me. And it's so easy to focus on that kind of shit. But part of this whole like stating your intentions and stating your goals is that all of that negative stuff, you don't let it wrap you up. You just let it roll off your back.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's so interesting because like I'm not saying I'm going to go practice fucking chaos magic or any of this shit, but I think it's so interesting because when you boil it down to the roots of it, it's some really good shit.
Dude. The fact that we're talking about it right now means that these two very, very much middle-class raised, kids from a very, very seaside town had heard about it in whatever walk of life that we kind of like crossed over.
Well, yeah, I mean, I heard about it because I dabble in weird conspiracy fucking circles. But
you kind of do.
Oh, I totally do.
You kind of do.
I'm a total fucking weirdo.
Well, that's what you wrote down in your journal.
But here's the cool thing.
Journal.
I learned about it, from a conspiratorial or sort of dark kind of a place. But then I boiled it down to what the parts of it that make sense to me, I was just able to explain it to you, and you're like, yeah, that makes sense. So boom, I win, bitch.
You've always won. Look at you.
No, but it's cool. Like, but I think that's a good thing and a bad thing because I look at everything analytically. So I hear something weird. I'm like, well, I want to know more, but I also want to analyze it. And so then I can explain it back to you in a way that makes sense to me. So you're getting the filtered version of it. I think like if you look into Aleister Crowley, he had a lot of good ideas. He's the one who came up with like chaos magic and the religion of Thelema, which is fucking weird to me. I don't know.
I don't know.
Although if you look into it, like Jack Parsons, who was like the rocket scientist, he was one of the guys who started NASA. He was a Thelemite. Weird shit. Anyways, people could kind of get wrapped up into it and be like, oh, and it's kind of like religion or anything else. It's like, because of my weird analytical mind, like I can look at some like religion. I can be like, well, these parts are all bullshit, but like, I really like these fundamental parts. And that's what I can focus on.
Sweet.
But I feel like a lot of people maybe don't have that. So maybe it's my duty to break things down and explain them to people. I don't fucking know, man.
Tim explains the world.
Tim explains the world, and then we all die.
Oh, I hope not for that second part.
I mean,
unless that's one of the things that you wrote down. And
well, you didn't let me finish. We all die at a healthy, ripe, old age of 100+.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, anyways, but just going back to fucking what I love about Comic-Con, I think it's a place where people can really feel comfortable in their own skin.
Yeah.
And it kind of like, it sort of levels the playing field in some weird way, shape, or form. And I don't know.
I will say this.
How the fuck did we get into?
No. I will say this. And I'm glad you actually kind of retooled it back. If you guys can remember, and I think now more than ever, whether you like it or not, I would say that we certainly live in a different time than when I was growing up as a kid. I don't mean to sound like an old man, get off my lawn kind of deal.
So much harder when we were growing up. You kids have it so easy with your iPads and your fucking shit.
But I do remember a day or a time before the internet, right? And I do remember a day and a time where like people just didn't care. Like you rode your bike all day long on the street. You played with your neighborhood friends. Your best friends were the people that you grew up next door to. and you know you like calling somebody. Like there was certain times that you didn't call. You never called past like 8 o'clock.
No, when you called their landline.
Yeah.
You had to like.
That's why you couldn't call.
Hi,
past,
Mrs.
like,
Chang. Is Steve home? Can I please talk to Steve?
Yeah, exactly.
I couldn't text you shit.
It was easier for me to just like ride by your house like 2 or 3 times to see if you were home.
Yeah.
Like on my bicycle, like see if you could play. Than it was like because you just didn't know. Like the hardest thing was like phone etiquette. Now people just send a fucking
Remember
text.
calling
with, like,
a girl?
Oh,
that
it's
you were interested in?
impossible.
You had to like literally. There was a good chance you had to talk to her dad.
Oh, absolutely.
Hi, Mrs. Johnson. Is Stephanie home?
Yeah. And then they're
Who
like,
is this? This is Tim.
may I ask who's calling? It's like, holy crap. But one of the things is, what I want to say about that is that it was a different time. It was a cleaner time, in my opinion, but it was also a very limited time because you also had people that felt like they were boxed in a little bit and they felt like they had certain paradigms or certain things that they had to, like, what is that word that I'm looking for? Conform to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I will say that with the advent of Comic-Con and as it's increased now, it's all the way up to, what is this? How many years
It's the
is it?
50th year, bro.
Wait, the
50th?
50th?
Yes.
I thought it was like 10 years in.
No, that's the crazy thing.
How has this thing been going on for 50 years?
It's been going on. It was going on for years before because I think it started off really small.
Yeah, like probably like a few like vendors selling comic
And
books.
I think since I've been going, I feel like it's grown exponentially.
You've been going for 19
I think
years?
no. I think like 8 years.
Oh, only 8. Wow, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you would have been going way longer than that.
No. But I feel like it's grown exponentially. But I mean, if you think about it, if they start off with a few hundred people, even when I went the first time, it was probably 50,000 people, 60, 80, 100.
Yeah.
Now I think it's like up to like probably 200,000 people.
Oh, dude, there's a lot. Dude, they
Dude,
ran
it's
out the whole
insane.
dude,
People that literally, there's a bunch
thing.
of like my boss's girlfriend. She has a condo or apartment downtown.
Sure.
And she was, I don't know if she actually did it or not, but she was planning to
Rent it out.
basically,
Airbnb
take
that
all
thing.
our Airbnb because you can, because the hotels downtown,
It's crazy.
it's like like for a hotel that you'd pay like probably 150 grand. What the hell's wrong with me? $150 a night.
I don't know where you're
for like a
staying,
normal,
Tim.
like a normal weeknight during Comic-Con. That same
$600
hotel room goes for at least $600.
Dang.
It's insane. So there's a ton of people who just clear out like, I don't even know how you rent out your place. Like you have to like, if I was going to Airbnb, like I'd have to like take all my like personal shit and kind of like put it away. Like she was saying she has a big closet. So she was going to like put everything in her closet and lock it up.
Sure.
And I'm sure there's also like probably like security deposits. I don't know. I don't know how Airbnb
I'm sure
works.
you could
I've
tell
never
whoever's
used
like
it.
staying at your Airbnb if you just say, hey, I'm renting this room if you guys want to stay there, but like you
For
just
sure.
don't go in these rooms or don't go around here or something like that.
But it's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
But it's been around for 50 years.
That's crazy.
50.
I would say this is that it's events like that, or it's like situations like that, or it's like conventions like that that make it available. Like they really, really make it available for people who have like they don't have to fit in no box no more, man. You don't have to be a certain kind of parody. You don't have to be a certain kind of. You don't have to conform to anything. You can just do whatever you want to do. And it's sad that it's only for 4 days, but even just that slight window allows them to kind of take a look at their life in a different way, right? Like we're looking at like our lives in a different way, and maybe it says, "Hey, man, I wish every day could be like that." Maybe that's a goal that they write down as part of their own internal secret, and that's something that they strive for every single day too. So that's what I give props for like events like this. That's so cool.
Well, I think the first step to anything is like kind of like just admitting to yourself and being comfortable with like who you are. Where am I starting? You know, what's my starting point? And then what race am I running? And that's when you like, okay, so I'm going to like, whatever, I'm going to run a mile. I'm going to run a marathon. I'm going to run a 100-mile race. Like whatever that is, knowing where you are, who you know, and being comfortable enough to like, hey, I could start this. I'm great, but I could be even better. I don't know.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Damn, that's all I got, man. Shoots. Comic-Con.
Comic-Con. Is that what we're going to title this episode? We can think of something better.
Yeah. We'll think of something better.
Yeah. Figure it out. Figure it out.
Deal.
But yeah, dude, it's very cool. You know, if you don't know anything about Comic-Con, look it up, check it out. It's one of the, if you live in, well, wherever you live, there's Comic-Cons everywhere.
Yeah,
I
apparently
mean,
there
San
are.
Diego's, I think it was the first. I know it's the biggest in the world. It's a fucking shit show, and it's amazing at the same time. It's probably the best, like, people watching.
Have you ever thought about meeting
experience.
Spider-Man and also Sailor Moon at the same time?
Never, dude. Never.
Well, guess what? You can at the convention center this
There's
weekend.
so
all
much
weekend
cool
long.
stuff, man. You can go like there's crazy artists, and you can go meet like celebrities, and you can go to panels. But then if you're an artist yourself, or if you're a writer, like they have so many cool like how tos. They even have like if you want to get into some part of the comic or entertainment business, they even have like legal 101, like how to fucking patent and like copyright all your shit. Like
That's so cool.
like panels with lawyers. Like they have everything there. It's so cool. But yeah, whatever city you live in, there's probably a city like either in your city or near your city. There's some sort of a smaller version of Comic-Con.
That's so cool.
Or like, right now, like the Sofa King guys, like they're heading to Kansas City for a paranormal conference.
Oh.
By the way, Project Reclamation, we sponsored it.
Oh, nice.
We're one of the sponsors of Kansas City Paracon. So hey, here's a shout out to you, Sofa King, Brent, Brad, Dave. Hey Dave, by the way, we do love you. I just we just haven't hung out with you yet.
No
I mean, I'd totally DoorDash or what's the other one? What's the other one? The DoorDash? Nah, yeah. What's the other one? There's another one.
I don't know.
They bring food and shit to you.
Yeah.
Not DoorDash.
Postmates.
Dave, we would totally Postmates you some food. He mentioned something about Postmating or DoorDashing him some food the other day. So yeah, Dave, totally, man. Love you, man. This is Tim and Steve, and JB's not with us, but he loves you too. So, three of you guys, we love you dudes. But yeah, check out, if you're in Kansas City, man, check out Kansas City Paracon. It's a paranormal conference. So it's centered around, the paranormal, and there's a lot of podcasts and different groups that center around paranormal. It's not really something we talk too much about, but I'm super interested in it. I think it's cool. I think they even one night have like a ghost hunt, which sounds fucking awesome.
Is Kansas City that haunted?
I think every city's haunted. Dude, San Diego's haunted.
Imagine all those pigs that went out there for that Kansas City St. Louis baby back ribs.
I have no idea what
All
you're
that
talking
barbecue that's out there in Kansas City. Damn. I guess it would be haunted by all those millions of pigs that have been.
Dude, everywhere's haunted. Dude, San Diego's haunted. We got there's like the Hotel Del is like
That
classically
explains
haunted.
it.
The Whaley House is one of the most haunted, like famous fucking houses in the country.
I guess.
I remember, dude, I was on a road trip and I was watching like the most haunted places in America. And like one of them was like, the battlefield at Gettysburg. And it just so happened that we were in Philadelphia the night I was watching this, and we were going to be in Gettysburg the next night.
That's crazy.
So what did I do when we were in Gettysburg? Went to the battlefield.
Oh, I was going to say.
In the middle of the night.
Why would you?
Why not, dude?
Do they even allow you on the field in the middle of the night?
Dude, no, they don't give a fuck.
It's a national park.
I don't know. We drove a car out there and we parked. We just walked around, and it was dark, man. But here's the thing: they have these crazy cicadas, right? Cicadas like weird crickets. Well, cicadas. You lived on the East Coast,
yeah,
dude. The cicadas
loud
were
as
so
shit.
loud. It was like probably midnight, and the cicadas were so loud, like you can't even hear yourself think. It's insane. Like I'm so glad we don't have those motherfuckers.
There was like one in Santa Barbara, and like this surf area that I was at, and it was like so loud, and I was like, what is that? It's like not a car alarm, but it's just
yeah. And I thought crickets were annoying, dude. Cicadas
it's like such a higher pitch. Such a higher pitch.
Dude, I told you about my Predator story, right?
Like as in
there was
Danny Glover, the Predator.
No, you know the Predator, like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. There was one in my room.
Why
they make that weird clicking noise? It's like,
what was it?
So I was like, I wake up one night and I hear this fucking Predator noise. Literally, I can't even recreate it. It's this like weird clicking guttural noise. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It was like kind of like across my room from where I was laying in my bed. And so I turn on the lights, like I can't figure it out. I'm like, okay. And then it stopped. So I'm like, fuck it, dude. So I go back to sleep, and then I wake up again, and the noise is like right by my bed, like right near my head. I'm like, what the fuck, man? So I take like an empty like Amazon box or something, and I throw it into the corner where like it sounds like the noise is coming from. And this weird green bug, giant green bug, just flies out, and it lands like on the wall near my window.
What is it?
I had no idea, dude. But when looking at it, like I know enough about like I'm obsessed with like the fucking Discovery Channel nature shows. So like I knew like we don't have very many poisonous like bugs in San Diego. It's like if it's not a black widow,
you're talking about here.
Yeah.
I don't know what
it's
it was.
literally in my room. So like I'm like, what? It looks like a leaf with legs. So I'm like, okay, this is probably in like the cricket.
That's a cicada. Isn't that a cicada?
Grasshopper fan. No. Cicada looks like a creepy little cricket.
All right.
This looked like a leaf. It was kind of pretty. It was like a bright green, whatever. Right. So at the time, because my dog's an asshole, he had destroyed my screen by trying to like bark at something outside. So I had no screen at the time. So I literally take a piece of paper because I don't want to kill it because it's big. So I'm like, if I kill it, like that's gonna be messy. And I'm like 99% sure it's not like a poisonous bug. So I take like a piece of paper and it kind of crawls onto the piece of paper, and I like kind of like throw it out the window, and it flies away. So I'm like, what the hell was that? So I just like started Googling like bugs that make predator noises. Apparently it's a katydid. Katydid is in fact in the grasshopper-ish family. And I guess they push air through their wings and they make this weird sound that sounds a fuck lot like the predator. So then I was like, okay, it's just a katydid, whatever. But fun story. I thought the predator was in my room. I was like, is there a fucking invisible predator here? Is it going to kill me? What the fuck's going on? So that's my fun predator story. So if you're interested, go Google katydid predator noises and
hear it.
Have fun. Check it out. But if you wake up in the middle of the night and you hear predator noises, it might just be a katydid.
Or it might be a real predator.
Might be about to die from a predator.
It might be a real heat-seeking, sensing predator. Just
sure,
put
dude.
mud all over yourself, either which way.
Put mud all over yourself. Say something like, get to the chopper.
Yeah, I would just say put mud all over yourself as quickly as you can.
This is
Either which way.
Great movie, man. With it,
Oh,
fucking
dude.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, the dude from what's his name? He went to San Diego State University.
Tony Gwynn?
Apollo Creed.
Oh, Apollo Creed went to San Diego State?
Yeah. What's his name though?
Oh, Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers. Carl Weathers. Yeah, I went to San Diego State.
Huh.
Yeah, Carl Weathers. You got Jesse the Body Ventura.
Dang.
Dude, that movie was stacked. Great movie. Yeah, so go check it out. And yeah, if you hear a predator noise, hopefully it's a katydid.
Deal.
If it's a real predator, I'm sorry. All right.
That's all I got, y'all.
That's all I got too. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening.
Be good. And till next time, peace out.
Adios.
So what I believe you were trying to say is thank you.